Okay, so today I'm gonna work on going over with you guys, laying out the first line of your quote or Bible verse. I'm gonna upload both of these drawings eventually, the lettering, so that you can have them as examples, but I wanna go through each line with you guys over the next week, so that you can really watch how to do it and map it out. So I did 1 Corinthians 13:13 with the masculine script. If you choose to do it with the Bromello script, it will still be laid out the same in terms of how many letters per line or how many words per line. So I've done kind of the hard work of figuring out how to put them onto the page and how to center them and all that kind of stuff. Usually that part's pretty tricky. So today what we're gonna work on is the first 3 words and now these. So when you look up at the font online at dafont.com, you're gonna notice that the letters are wide like this. But first, you're gonna start out by doing them narrow and kind of tweaking as you go. So right now, I'm gonna work on fixing the word these, because I sort of just sketched it on really fast. So when I look at the font, which let me put it under the screen really fast so you can see it. But it also might help while you're watching this to have it up on a computer. Let's see. Oh, sorry, it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing when the phone is like completely upside down for me. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So now I'm going to look at the word these and start fixing it. Okay, so the T, the way I've made the bottom here is a lot sharper than the T in the masculine script, because the style of font I like to do is usually sharper than that, so I just kind of naturally write that way. So I'm going to go back in and soften it. And as you can see, I'm writing really lightly because I want to be able to erase and be able to get it off the page. Now I'm going to go back in and look at the H. I made it swoop down too low. So I'm going to fix that. And again, all I'm doing while I am working on this is just looking at the font online. So seeing as I can't have them both going at the same time on my screen, like I said, you might want to pull them up so you can look at the font while I'm doing this. And it's, again, called Masculine Script. And then I'm fixing the E, which I made too sharp. And then the S is pretty close, but it has a smaller top than the way I originally made it. And then it joins with the E like that. And I'm just going to leave that line there because eventually I've got to make it thicker there anyway. And then I've got to make this E look more round right here, circular. And then go through and curl it up a little bit more. Okay, and then I'll show you on the same one how to make the letters thicker, because you're going to start out doing it in pencil and then you will color it in with a pen, which we will get to last, not today. So now I'm going to go back in and draw the line so that it matches the way that it looks on the screen. And if you notice, the top of the H, the E, and the E are supposed to be the same. And the T probably needs to be taller than I made it. The H will go here. The tops of these E's are probably more accurate. And then I go back in and erase. So this is like literally all lettering is like figuring out where your reference points are so that you can go back and check things. So now it's like, okay, pretty much my E's, the tops of my E's and the tops of my the top of my H are at the same level. And if you can't tell, that's like what's good with rulers. You can just put them up and measure it. The S goes a tiny bit above, so that's fine. And now I'm just going to tweak the T so it looks a little better. And then I'm going to go through and make the H thicker. And you don't need to color it in with your pencil. Like, yes, the way it's going to look when you're done is like this, but you don't need to do that because you're going to do it in pen and you'll just end up rubbing your hand over it accidentally as you're writing and you'll just have so much to erase. Then this part of the H is thin and you go around and it gets thicker. And you go like that. And then the E starts out thin down here and then thickens. And as I go around, like I'm going to fix little tweaks that I notice that are off from the actual font on the screen. Okay, then the S has this like little circular bubbly thing right here. And it stays thin here. And then as you go around, which is often the case when you look at fonts with S's, they make them thicker on the curve. Or the straight, sorry. And then it gets thin again, joins up at the end of the E and has a little swoosh again, little like circular thing. And then I'm going to go and do my E again. And tweak it so it looks similar to the other one. So the thing about doing fonts is that, you know, no one is normally, if you're making like, you know, a card for someone and you want to write their name nicely on the outside or write pretty on the inside, nobody's necessarily obviously going to be like comparing your font to like something online, but you want to make sure that you're consistent with your lettering. So, you know, that your letters look straight, because if these tops don't hit the same, it doesn't matter if the bottoms do. It'll, you know, it'll start to go downhill or go uphill or kind of wobble around. So that is important to remember. And if you make changes, that's fine, but make them across the board. So like the way the T is in the actual font is straight across, but I'm like, oh, I like it better like that. So so this is how you're going to be doing the first 3 letters of the Bible verse, 1 Corinthians 13:13. And if you choose to use Bramello, you're still going to do the same 3 words. I said letters, but I meant words. Same 3 words. You'll just do it in that font. And then you'll have to slightly adjust depending on, you know, how much the S's and, you know, T's and different things like stick out or flow off the page. But it will generally be lined up pretty much like this. So, and if you do the Bible, or if you do the Dolly Parton quote and you want to use this font, it'll be the same kind of idea. You will take the first words that I have written out, and instead of doing it in Bramello, you will do it in the masculine script. So that's all for this first video on the focus of 1 Corinthians and the masculine script. I'm also going to put out another video for Friday that talks about the first line of the Dolly Parton quote and in the Bramilla script. So you need to watch both. Okay, I hope it's going well. I hope you're having fun, and I'm proud of how hard you guys are working. Bye.